All right, cool, man. We're live for the Zerda Ramirez Dimitri Bivol fight. Obviously, I'm with Legend. Introduce yourself, bro.
It's your boy Tafini, aka the Legend. I got the corner. I got the podcast called In This Corner. So check me out. Got it on the shirt.
When did you get those shirts printed?
It's a lady that lives like a couple cities down from me, and she made them for me.
Cool. So, did you watch the fight before? Or this the first fight you started watching?
Uh, I actually had it on like since it started, but I wasn't really into it until the last fight came on.
Yeah, the last fight was a good fight. Zelfa Barrett, he fought Rakamov for the IBF strap. It was a decent, it was a decent card for me. It was a decent fight to me. I thought Zelfa Barrett done well, to be honest. He fought a very top opponent. And Rakamov, who's fought at world level, obviously against Jojo Diaz, his most notable opponent, and he did well today. I think he was a bit unlucky. I think his legs went, but he was definitely up in the fight. He scored a knockdown also, but I don't exactly know why. His legs just seemed to go. I don't know if he was tired or if he got an injury. It reminded me similar to what happened with David Hay against Tony Belly. His legs just seemed to go. And then from there, it was, an uphill climb. And then Rakamov managed to get a stoppage, or the ref stopped the fight, either way. But I thought the fight was still a good fight for how long it lasted. And Zelfa Barrett definitely done a good, for his first world title fight, he definitely looked good. I mean, the 130 division does need as much um challenges as possible, and he definitely cemented himself at world level.
Mhm.
How
Yeah. So
much you
who you got for
for?
the women's fight now?
Well, I don't watch women's boxing at all, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watch Clarissa Shields. I
Right.
watched Alicia Baumgardner.
Right.
Obviously, Katie Taylor is someone who's obviously making a lot of noise, and Katie Taylor's beaten Jessica McCaskill before, but I think Jessica McCaskill's probably the favorite. I mean, what did she beat Breakhouse at middleweight or something like that? I
Yeah.
know to a certain degree a bit about boxing, but women's boxing, but I'm not gonna act like I'm a massive follower of the women's boxing. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for McCaskill, but yeah, like the women's division isn't stacked, so I still got a lot to learn, as far as the women's division. But I'm gonna go with McCaskill.
No, it's far from stacked. I mean, you got girls moving up 4 weight classes, 5 weight classes just to get competition. I think that's a bit crazy, but um this fight should be a good fight according to Eddie Hearn. I'm not a massive fan of either fighter, but I've seen Jessica McCaskill fight once, and that was against Katie Taylor. And I think she fought another female called Cecilia Breakhouse or something like that. I think that was another long reigning champion, but I'm not a massive fan of female boxing. I won't even lie to you. We all from that's Jeff's close friend. Um, did the fight start yet? Not yet. Well, if you're talking about the main event, Zerdo and Bivol, that ain't started yet. What do you think about the main event, by the way?
I'm gonna go for Bivol. I'm gonna go for Bivol by decision. What I mean, I think Bivol. Bivol. He just his punch output. He just stays busy, even though he doesn't got a lot of power. I think I'll go with Bivol by decision.
I'm probably gonna go with Bivol. I'm not probably. I'm going with Bivol also. I mean, those who do know me know that I'm a massive fan of Bivol and I like his fighting style. But I'm also a massive fan of Zerdo. This is a fight I've been asking for years.
Right.
Literally years. As soon as Zerdo moved up to 175, I wanted to see him fight either Bivol or Beterbiev. You
Right.
know.
So why
Um,
why you think this fight didn't get a lot of attention, like a lot of press? Like
Bro,
niggas
that's
didn't.
what I was literally about to say. That's why I'm live right now. I'm really live for fights. But because people aren't covering this fight, I feel like I have to cover it because this is a fight that I have always wanted, probably for the last 4 years or so, maybe last 3 years, or as long as what? When did he fight Carl Pensy? Probably 2019. So since then, and we didn't get it. So because of that. I'm deciding to cover it. And I don't know why other people don't want to invest into this sport and invest into this fight in particular, because it's one of the best fights of the year. Definitely one of the best cards of the year also. So it's just
Yeah,
disappointing. But
right.
it's
It's
just a
two
lot of
undefeated
a
fighters
lot of
too.
fans aren't boxing fans. You know, they're just, you know, fans for when it's convenient.
Yeah. I mean, even though I consider myself a hardcore, but you know, like I said, I still, like you said, even though this is like a women's fight on now, it's still a lot that I got to learn. You know what I mean? Far as you know, the names, you know, all the competitors. So, but you know, I did go see Clarissa Shields live, but that was 2 years ago in 2020.
Who was she fighting?
It was it was the lady. I think her name was Ivana or something like that. You know,
Who was on the
she
undercard?
Clarissa Shields won that fight. She won that fight
Who,
easy, but you know they
who,
had. Hmm.
who was on the undercard? Or who was on the
Oh,
card?
Boots was on that on the card. This
Who
was
did
this.
Boots fight?
I can't. Honestly, I don't even know the dude's name, man. I gotta.
It
You know what? Let
sounds
me.
like, but judging based on the card, this. If I'm right, if I'm right, I'll be surprised. But I think that sounds like the card where
She.
was it?
It was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and
Okay,
the
that
opponent Shields fought. It was actually some controversy. They actually pushed it back and fought again because you know it was some controversy with some stuff on it at the weigh-in or something like that. With Shields' brother hit her opponent's trainer or something like that.
oh,
So that
that
fight
was
eventually
when
got pushed back.
Ali Bashir. That was Ali Bashir when Ali
Okay, yeah,
Bashir
yeah.
got hit. Yeah,
Yes, I'm so bad with names, man. I'm so
Ali
bad with
Bashir, that
names.
was their coach. James Ali Bashir is a very, very seasoned coach. You know, he's a coach who's been
Okay.
around for years. I
Yeah.
remember now. That was
Yeah.
when Boots think I think he fought Almeida, if I'm correct. I think that's the fact when Boots fought Almeida. I could be incorrect though. Um,
He
I
made
can't
easy
remember.
work of him though. He made easy work of him.
Is that the one where he froze? You know when he done that freeze and then he continued moving. I don't know if you remember.
No, I can't remember.
I don't remember the dude's name, but was the dude undefeated?
I don't think he was. You know
Okay,
what?
then I don't know who it is then. There was a
Okay.
dude who he fought who was undefeated. It sounds like the same card. I could be wrong. Um,
Let me
there was
go.
a,
It was. Let me see. I mean, I'm bad with names, but I believe his name was You Both or something like that. You
oh,
Both.
fair enough.
So you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Okay.
He's not a person who I'm familiar with, not at all. Um, again, I'm not a massive fan of women's boxing. I don't want to be overly critical because this is supposed to be two of the best fighters in the division, but it's very, very not. It's not pleasing on the eye technically from what Jessica McCaskill's doing. At least, I mean, she
Yeah.
is doing her best to get punched in the face because I don't know where she'd have learned this high guard or defense from, but wherever she learned it, whatever coach she's paying. This is a terrible, terrible display of defense. I mean, I don't even know if she's even looking. I swear to God, I'm being so honest. I'm being so honest. Watching these two fight, Jessica McCaskill looks like she's blind in one eye. I'm dead serious.
Mm. Yeah. So Cameron's undefeated.
Yeah, Cameron is undefeated.
She's
Cameron is
undefeated.
undefeated. I
Okay.
gotta read this comment. This comment's funny. Hey man, what's your thoughts on Bob Arum's beef with Mike Hoxard regarding the 10-man maths debate? I've never heard of that. I've
Yeah, I can't speak on
um
that either.
yeah. Um um this is the best person to ask. YSM Sports. This when you want to know anything about boots, this is globally anyone. Anyway, by the way, shout out to YSM because he just got a article written on him by the New York. I can't remember who it was. YSM put the link in the chat of who posted who done the article and where people can actually read the article because it's rare that YouTube channels get articles written on them, especially by big publications like yourself, by like the one that wrote you up. So I don't want to misquote the publication. So if you could put it in the comments, that'd be dope. But this is the best person to ask anything about boots. or his YSM,
Yeah,
and he said Damian Fernandez. So
yeah. I
I'm
think
assuming that's who you're talking about, or that's definitely who you're talking about because I'm a pretty sure YSM would have been in the building for that fight. He says her coach is her fiance. I mean, we can tell you can tell she's keeping it in the family in terms of payment because she's gone real cheap because what type of boxing is this? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, yeah, this is why a lot of boxing fans aren't very big on women's. I don't know if you're watching the fight, but what do you think of the?
yeah, it looks like they're trading. It looks like they're trading good, but like I would say what is it? Third round. I would say it looks pretty even so far.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to score because no one's
Yeah,
doing anything that impressive.
they're swinging wildly.
But it's just McCaskill just looks so weird when she fights. Like she just dips her head down. She doesn't look like she's looking at the target at all. I
Right.
mean, her punches just come from all over. Oh, it's really, really difficult to watch. Again, no offense. I'm here for the Bivol versus Ramirez fight. I don't know why they didn't put Zelfa Barrett as co-main event because that was a good fight. I mean, I'm a big fan of women's boxing when it's a good fight. You know,
Right.
when Katie Taylor fought Amanda Serrano, that was a good fight. When Clarissa Shields fought Savannah Marshall, good fight. When Alicia Baumgardner fought Michaela May, a good fight. This is not
Yeah.
a very good advertisement for women's boxing, but we'll move. Um,
Yeah, but the
Jack
15th,
says,
yeah.
is he on live? Also would appreciate a shout. Is who on live? I don't know who he's talking about. Who's he referring to? Who's he
I don't know if he,
referring to?
I don't know if he was talking about YSM or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe he is talking about YSM. YSM, Jack wants a shout out from me. So that would be dope. If you could give him a shout out, I guess he must be talking about you because I don't know who else would be giving him a shout out, but um
Yeah, I think the Clarissa Shields fight, Savannah Marshall fight, Alicia Baumgartner and Mayer. I think that night they definitely put women's boxing back on the map. So that was a
I
good night for
I I,
boxing, man,
I
especially for
think
women's boxing.
that I would easily say that even though it's a woman's card, or it was a woman's card, I think that was one of the best cards of the year. I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious, you know. Um I thought Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall fight was a real good, entertaining fight. And then I thought Alicia Baumgardner was a technician. It was a technical, real tight, tidy fight, real clean fight. Not a lot of clinching, not a lot of low blows or messy fighting. You know, it was real
Right.
clean. You know, and two good fights to advertise women's boxing. You know, I think women's boxing has had an amazing year just in general. You know, we've seen
Mhm.
some real big fights. So it's a bit disappointing that we're getting this today, but we'll move. Um, Salute to my guy Jack. I don't know how to pronounce your surname, so I really don't want to offend you. But YSM's giving you that shout out, and trust me, that's a collector's item because this dude's real. What are you up to? 24,000 subscribers now, so you're real big in the game, and everybody's quoting you everywhere. You know, we had one of the biggest journalists in the sport quote YSM a couple weeks ago, which is dope. Credit to you, man. And he's dropped the link to his last article. I mean, to the article that was written by the New York um, publication. And if you want to read that, and I suggest everyone read it because you rarely see YouTube publications get articles written on them. But the reason why he got his article written on him was because of how much work he's done in the sport recently, you know, covering the entire country in America, to be honest, because even when he ain't there, you might as well say he's there because he's still getting great content. So shout out to YSM, man. And he's always supporting the channel. So respect
Yeah,
to him.
yeah. If he was at the Gary Russell and Mark Messiah fight, then we were in the same building. Because I remember from the very first podcast I done with y'all, from what I understand, YSM was there at that fight. So I was in the building too. I just didn't never know who he was at the time.
Yeah, man, he's a good person to network with and know, man, because obviously you're a person who's just starting in the boxing media
Mm-hmm.
circle. So he's a good person to know because he knows a lot of dudes. And he's very ambitious, and he'll tell you exactly where you need to be and what you need to do. Trust me, hit him up on on Instagram. He's not he's not one of those dudes who's difficult to get into contact with. Like, if you genuinely need anything, just literally just say you're Jeff's dude. I guarantee you he'll literally just do it off the strength, you know. So hit him up, man. Legend. He's a real good person to know, and he's real genuine dude.
He's from Philly too, right?
So he's from Philly. Yeah, he's from Philly. When I was in Philly, he showed me around. He brought me to all the the best gyms when I was in Philly. So shout out to YSM again. What was I gonna say? On the Bivol and Zerdo fight, you know, what do you think, based on what you've seen, is the biggest thing that Bivol has to worry about in terms of like a threat that Zerdo can pose?
I mean, I think he should be careful of his power. You know, he's got a lot of KOs, like 40-something fights, right? So I think he needed to be careful of his power. But you know, he made easy work of Canelo, and Canelo is a power puncher. But of course, Canelo moved up for that fight. So
I think more than power is the volume, because Zerdo's got that style where he makes fights real messy. You know, he will walk through shots to land his shots, and Bivol's a real clean fight, and he likes to keep fights clean, so on the judges' scorecards, when you're seeing a dude who's throwing 5, 6, 7 punches, he might not be landing those, but it sometimes is eye-catching for the judge, but I do think Zerdo's biggest problem is going to be the footwork, when Bivol starts to pivot left and right, circle, maneuver around, Zerdo's going to have a bit of a struggle to cut off the ropes, cut off the distance and get him onto the ropes. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest, his biggest problem.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. So they got Cameron winning on the unofficial score.
I mean, to be fair, I can see why they got Cameron winning, because, I mean, McCaskill, she's having I don't know if this is just an off night or she genuinely fights like this, but it isn't a very impressive performance. At least Cameron is very, her punches are much more pleasing on the eye. They're much better to do, like, in terms of technically they're thrown much more correct. At least she's got her eyes on the target. When people say they need women's boxing to have 3 minutes, genuinely, I do agree with that. In this fight, I'm glad it's 2 minutes. Because I don't think I could watch 3 minutes of this. I won't even lie to you. It's not very pleasing.
Yeah, McCaskill, she got a big knot on the head too.
She does.
Yeah, she got a big knot. Yeah.
John E says, who's won? The fight ain't started yet, bro. The fight starts in about what? I would say after this fight finishes, it should start. But it said it was gonna start at 9. Ring walk should be at 9, but I'm assuming now ring walks would be at 10. Well, that's UK time. I don't know. What's the time where you at, Legend?
It's 5:20 here.
5:20 where you at?
Yeah, it's 5:20. Yeah, but the fight, the first fight started like what 1:30.
So
it's been going on for a few hours.
The card's been on for. This is the first card that they've done in Abu Dhabi, and to be fair, I can imagine that they're gonna do more, because I know they made a lot of money to bring this fight here. They wanted to bring Wilder and AJ here also, which I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I heard, and I know that the purses for these both fighters, Zerdo and Bivol, was career, or not for not so much Bivol, but it was career high payday for Zerdo, and it was a very good payday for Golden Boy as well. So the Zone are probably gonna bring more shows to Abu Dhabi, to be honest. Johnny says, thank you. Shout out, man. Anybody in the chat or anyone watching, hit like button, hit the subscribe button. But I can imagine, and I wouldn't mind seeing more fights around the world if they're bringing money to the sport, and we can actually get fights because of the increased purses. Then why not? I mean, if it means that we get Crawford versus Spence in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or wherever or Saudi Arabia, then as long as we get it, we get it, because we know these people are gonna pay. You know, they're gonna put the money up. You know, they've done it for the AJ fights. They've done it for the World Series of Boxing or World Boxing Super Series. They were gonna do it for Usyk and Fury. So if they're gonna put the money up, why not?
Yeah, but then AJ and Ruiz fought in Dubai, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if this is a fight which, for the most part, is, you can argue, the best versus the best, maybe definitely two of the top five in the 175 division fighting, you know, and we rarely get fights like this, you know. And I was saying this before, if I'm sorry because I'm getting distracted by this terrible performance, but if Bivol wins this fight today, you can argue that he's the fighter of the year. You can make that argument, you know, based on a win over Canelo and Ramirez. That's two solid wins within a year, which not many fighters have fought, you know, top level opponents. Obviously, I think Shakur Stevenson's had a very good year also. I wanted to see Jamal Charlo get a fight out. And when's Tim Tszyu and Jamal Charlo? Jamel and Tim Tszyu.
Jamel, that's supposed to be January 28th, from what I'm saying. They're like, but you know, 2023 January should be a banger, because if I'm not mistaken, that's Jamel, Tim Tszyu, who else? Perturbative and Yard is supposed to be in January.
Yard.
Yeah, and it was another fight that was in January.
AJ's supposed to be fighting in January also. AJ's supposed to fight in January.
Okay. Who I guess is it Chris Arreola?
They haven't announced an opponent yet.
Yeah, it was another fight that I forgot.
Yeah, there is another fight. I just can't remember. Yeah, there is definitely another fight. I think it's a top rank card as well. There's a top rank fight. Just trying to remember what the top rank fight was, but there's a top rank fight also. Speaking of top rank, it looks like Lomachenko's gonna fight Devin Haney. So
yeah, I got Haney in that if that happens, man. I got Haney, man. I think Loma is on the downslide, you know. Even though he won against Ortiz, man. Ortiz did one hell of a job. Like, he looked big, like, yeah. Man, to me, Loma's on the downside, but he does got the best footwork. But you know, Haney, to me, Haney's too big. You know, he's got
Haney's big, man. I saw him next to Lomachenko. He looked like even Lomachenko was like, Lomachenko said, you're not lightweight, you're heavyweight. You know,
he looked huge. Or maybe that, because you know, like, you know, fighters can blow up in weight, you know, in between fights and stuff like that. But he just came off the fight with Cambosis.
Yeah, he fought like 2 weeks ago. So I can't imagine that he's blown up that much.
Right.
Is her nose busted? It looks like her nose is busted. Cameron's nose looks like it's busted.
Yeah. But another thing, man, a lot of times, like, you know, fighters can make weight for a fight, and then on fight night they can be 15 pounds bigger.
Sometimes 20 pounds heavier, right? You know, sometimes even more. But I don't even know how Devin Haney's still making weight. I mean, he can't have that much fights left at 135.
Right.
I mean, I saw him on the scales for his last fight, and he looked like he looked like 50 Cent in that movie. You know that movie that 50 Cent was in when he was
he had cancer. Yeah.
He looked just like that. Literally, he just looked sick. And it's just not healthy for you to rehydrate and cut that much weight in a day. You know, it's just not healthy. And the methods that they do, you know, I don't know if you know some of the methods that they do to cut weight, you know, going days without eating, going in the sauna and stripping themselves of water, weight, everything. It's real.
But from the 15th, man, the Devin Haney and Cambosis fight was the only one I didn't see. I seen all the other cards on the 15th except that one, because I was actually on the the Caleb Plant Durrell fight, and when I switched over to Haney and Cambosis, it was already on like the 8th round, so I missed half of the fight. So I just switched back over to, you know, Plant Durrell.
Yeah, because Wilder was, what's it called? Wilder was fighting that night, but that wasn't much of a fight because it lasted 35 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, that's not $80 worthy for a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? To be over in the front. I mean, I know it's Wilder, but still, man, I would expect it more. But I felt in my heart that Wilder would have got the KO in the first round, because, you know, Haney is just look.
You should have put some money
on it, man.
You should have put some money on it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're 2 rounds away from this fight being over, and I hope the main event ain't a long turnaround. Sometimes you get these long turnarounds, like 30 minutes, an hour. I really don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a while before the main, before the main event. Commentators talking, they show you the previous history, the fighters, training camp, stuff like that. So who knows?
I expect no, I expect Bivol to win, but I do expect a tough fight. I do think at times Bivol's gonna actually have to dig down and show something different, because at some point in this fight, Zerdo Ramirez is gonna let his hands go, and he's gonna take 2 or 3 to land one, or to get his shots off, and that's what Bivol's gonna have to worry about, because for the first time in a while, Bivol's not gonna really have to worry about finding his opponent, because his opponent's gonna be right there in front of him. Canelo had much better head movement. He ducked down. He was shorter. He's just got much better evasive skills than Zerdo Ramirez. Zerdo Ramirez is gonna be there. He's gonna be, as Jeff says, he's gonna be 12:30 all night. Straight up and down.
Well, I know he beat Jesse Hart 2 times, right?
Yeah, he beat Jesse Hart 2 times. What? Jesse Hart caused him problems in some of those fights as well, because Jesse Hart just generally is quite athletic with his feet across the ring. And a fight that I've always wanted to see was Jesse Hart versus Marcus Brown. I've always wanted to see that fight, because
Marcus Brown hasn't fought since he lost to Beterbiev, right?
No, because when you lose to Beterbiev, you're not the same. So I'm not surprised by that.
He had a bloodbath.
His
face was a bloodbath in that fight, from what I remember.
John Manziel says Hellenius took a 9 million dive. I don't think he took a dive. I just think that, and John, I haven't seen you in a while, so good to see you in the building. But I don't think he took a dive. I just think Wilder's just got that type of power. And Hellenius has never been known for having a good chin. I remember when he got knocked out by Johan Duopo. I've never seen a knockout like that in my life.
He got washed by Washington, man. I was shocked about he got knocked out by Washington. Like, to me, Washington's a bad fighter at this point.
I actually covered that fight. Washington versus Hellenius. I covered that fight. I'll never forget the Duopo. If you haven't seen that knockout, I would suggest everyone go and watch that knockout where Duopo knocks out Hellenius. He literally goes from one corner to another corner to another corner to another corner while staggering around the ring. He gets hit with a shot, he staggers to one corner and falls on the floor. He gets up, then staggers to another, and then staggers to another. It's one of the most, I've never seen a knockout like that in my life. You've got to be kidding me. No, it wasn't a dive, bro. Of course it wasn't a dive.
Yeah, but the one I do think was a dive was when he fought Malik Scott.
Malik Scott.
Like, I watched that replay a lot of times, man. It just didn't look like it hurt at all. But
he didn't even land. He didn't land.
I know.
I know a lot of people be saying that Hellenius took a dive, but what you got to understand is he didn't control his fall. He just fell. It wasn't like a matter of him almost grabbing something to fall over. He didn't control his fall. He just went from standing up straight to falling straight on his back. I think some people, and you got to remember, Hellenius is chinny. He's known for being extremely chinny. So him getting hit with by Wilder,
and his leg. His leg twisted too. Like when he got caught, his leg twisted and he fell back. So I knew he wasn't going to get up from that. But I've been in a lot of debates about fighters that can dive, man, including my brother, man. He was saying the Anderson Silva and Jake Paul when Silva got dropped, that was a dive, and a lot of people were saying the Tyrone Woodley fight when Jake Paul dropped him, that was that the way he got caught, that wasn't no dive, man. The way he got caught and fell face down like that.
I think people genuinely don't understand the concept of how boxing works. You rarely see dives in boxing. And unless you're amazing, like you would have to go through, because when you get knocked out, and it's a dive. The difference with Malik Scott was you can see how correct he fell on the floor. It was almost choreographed. I don't know how to say that word, but it was almost like designed. You know, the fall was designed. Whereas when you see other drops or stoppages, you know, that is what your body's supposed to do when you get hit by a shot. You know, when you see Tyron Woodley get knocked out, I didn't even watch the fight live. I've just seen a knockout 100 times. When you see him get knocked out, his body reacted in how the way it should react. You know, you don't see dives that much in boxing. Trust me.
Yeah, but I think the thing with Jake Paul, I think maybe it's just somebody hating on him because the fact that he's not a real fighter. Because they're saying it's about Woodley, and now they're saying it about Silva. Because some video came out and it showed like, you know, the knockdown in slow motion, but it was a different angle and it didn't look like it landed. But if you watch, like, you know, the replay, it lands clean. But this video, I don't know who came out with the video, but it just showed from this angle.
I really don't like to entertain things like that, because in order for you to argue with a fool, you have to be a fool. And I just can't allow myself to be in that mindset. I've watched so many boxing matches. So for me I'm not talking about so much the Wilder one. I'm more talking about the Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, because if he was going to dive, he would have just got himself knocked out. He wouldn't have got back up literally within a second. It's a flash knockdown, you know? They needed a guy to lose so they could make money on Wilder versus Ruiz. Just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
And another thing, Wilder's had multiple opponents he knocked out in the first round. Dominic Brazil, Stavern.
No, but Dominic Brazil was as flush as a punch could land, you know. But he says he got hit in the nose with a soft punch and he was rubbing his nose in an interview the next day. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it was a dive. I'm being dead honest. First round, that was so weak, just like Malik Scott.
Malik Scott's legit, not Helenius.
Malik Scott is a dive. I'll give you that. Dive, Helenius fell on his shoulder. It was a dive, bro. Bro, he fell. Bro, I don't think it was a dive. Jake Paul's KO was real. I think it was real also. Culture vultures. Who's he referring to? What's he referring to?
I don't know.
Jay Sharp, if you could please explain what you mean by culture vultures, please. How Helenius getting paid 9 million up front but no money for Crawford. That's another thing. I hope that's fake. I hope Helenius didn't get paid 9 million for that fight.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about him getting paid that much.
If he got paid 9 million, then I'm in the wrong profession. I'm sorry. Because I'm not getting hit in the face by Wilder for 9 million, but I mean, I'm pretty sure 9 million for that, for 2 minutes of boxing. I'm sorry.
And plus, and another thing, Helenius walked out. I remember that night. A lot of fighters that lost on that night walked out. Makala Mayer walked out after she lost to Baumgartner. Helenius walked out after he got KO'd by Wilder, and Darrell walked out after he lost to Prince. So it was a lot of fighters were upset with those losses. I don't think
Darrell was the same man after that. Darrell got put in a grave. Yeah. Literally, he got put in a grave. Literally.
Yeah, you know,
the pallbearers were there. The pastor was there. The grave diggers were there. You know.
Yeah, I didn't like. I know all the trash he was talking about. I know it's spots, man. You promote it like that, but I know they had legit beef. Like, I just didn't like the stuff Darrell was saying. You know, I met Darrell. So
what do you think about Darrell? Plant and Benavidez.
I would go for Benavidez. I would go for Benavidez by stoppage, but I know Plant has. To me, Plant has the better skill. I think Benavidez is faster, has faster hands. You know, he's got the combinations, and I think he'll eventually just walk him down. But you know, Caleb Plant has the movement. You know, he's good with his footwork, but he can't
even though he got a better move. he can't just move the whole fight. He's gonna
Right,
have to hold his feet at some
right,
point in the fight.
right.
You know,
I
if
think,
you move for 12 rounds, your leg's gonna go. Similar to what happened with Zelfa Barrett against Rakhimov. You know, at some
yeah,
point, I say to people, it's better you hold your feet by choice than make your opponent making you hold your feet. You know,
yeah,
because when your opponent makes you hold your feet, 9 times out of 10, your feet ain't there to hold.
right, yeah,
So it's better you decide to hold your feet on your terms than you be running around for 8, 9 rounds, and then
right.
we're in round 11 and you're trying to use these feet and the feet ain't there no more.
Yeah, but I don't think he can run around too much with Benavidez. I think Benavidez is eventually gonna walk him down and stay in his face. But I think Plant would try, but I think Benavidez is just too tall. It's just
That's why it's very important to see what Bivol does today, because I'm interested to see how Bivol decides to approach this fight,
right.
because Zerdo is going to be in his face all night. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if Zerdo's going to take the aggressive approach from round one, and I think he should. I think he has to. You know, I don't
mhm,
think he can walk around and allow Bivol to get in any form of a rhythm, because when he's in a rhythm, it's going to be hard to offset that rhythm.
right.
Because he's a dude who knows how to win rounds very well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm
So
just
Cameron won by decision. So that's out the way.
when Hellenius came out with the magician's robe and the stick as a wizard, I knew the fight was Hollywood. I
That's
didn't
funny.
even see the ring walks, to be honest. I didn't see the ring walks. I won't lie to you. I didn't see the ring walks. What's Conrad? Shout out to you, bro. What's up, guys? Going to grab some food. We'll be back for the fight. Yeah, the fight should start within the next 20 minutes, man. I'm hoping anyway. Ring walks in 20 minutes. I'm hoping.
Mhm.
Benavidez has horrible feet and no defense. Throws jabs off his wrong foot. Plant can win that fight. I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, I
I
see
agree
a
with
lot of guys
everything you
like
said.
since it was announced. I see a lot of guys going for Plant, but I said if Plant does win, I just I'm going by decision. But,
I
he
think
shot the world. He shot the
I think
world when he got the
I think
Darrell KO.
Benavidez will win. I think Benavidez will genuinely win because he's gonna overwhelm Plant, and Plant's not gonna put something on him that's gonna make him worry about coming forward. He just doesn't have that power. You know, if he was fighting someone, let's say like a um like a
Mhm.
like a Baturbia, for example, who when you walk in a ring, the moment you get hit with a shot, you start to think about coming forward. Even a Charlo, to a certain degree, he's got much more power than Plant. You know, he will cause Benavidez problems in that sense. But Plant, on the other hand, you know what he's gonna do, give you movement, and eventually Benavidez is gonna wear him down. I agree with everything you said. The difference is though, Plant doesn't have the offense to win that fight. I don't
Right.
think Benavidez has great feet. I agree with that. I don't think he has great defense. I agree with that also. But he also Plant just doesn't have the skills to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Plant
But
has to work on his right hand. He needs to work on his right hand. He needs to work on his punch variety also. You know,
yeah. Yeah, he did get the better knockout on Darrell, but styles make fights. They don't have the same style.
of course not.
Mhm.
If Plant had a right hand, he would be unstoppable. I don't know about all of that because there's still so many elements to his game
Mhm.
that I
Like I
think he's
think
lacking.
he did well. He did well to me against Canelo, but
I
like I
don't think
said, he
so,
just don't
but
have the power. I think he did
I don't
well,
think so.
but he got caught. He just yeah, Canelo. I knew Canelo was going to eventually break it down and stop him. Well, I don't know when he got that KO. Like I don't know when he got up from the first knockdown. Like he was kind of like running, and Canelo caught him. Then he fell out, just laid out flat. So yeah, I mean, it was a good fight to me with him and Canelo. So
Yeah, he has a good left hook, but no straight right hand. Yeah, he has a good left hook. He has a good jab. He has
so
good footwork. His head movement ain't that bad. His hand skills ain't that bad neither. You know, I just think he just lacks the offensive skills to cause problems.
mm. Yeah, so Bivol was the favorite tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. I see they got the bets and stuff up here now. Yeah, so what you think about Bivol and Canelo? Do you think that was just a bad move for Canelo to move up? that much. But he
I,
did move up to fight Kovalev, right? And he
yeah,
stopped Kovalev.
I said before the fight, that Bivol is gonna win the fight. The only way he's gonna lose is if the judges rob it from him. Because I've just seen both of their fighters' styles. I said this before the fight. I picked Bivol to beat Canelo comfortably, and the fight went exactly the way I thought it would go. Other than the judges giving him the scorecard, I just didn't think the judges will give it, but
Mm-hmm.
they did, and I'm glad they did. Um, Boxing doesn't need more negative headlines anymore. But genuinely speaking, I just always thought stylistically Bivol was the wrong person for him. And I thought Beterbiev was the wrong. At some point, you got to reach your ceiling in terms of weight classes. And I think 168 is that ceiling. I think for the right fight at 175, you can take it, but not for every fight.
Yeah. Yeah, so but Canelo moved up to fight, Bivol. Yeah. I mean, it was already something he'd done before, right? Because he fought Kovalev at 175.
He fought Kovalev at 175, but what people forget is not only was Kovalev on some people's scorecards winning that fight, but Kovalev was coming off a knockout loss to Alida Alvarez and a really tough fight with Anthony Yard. He fought Anthony Yard at the end of August.
Yeah,
and
y'all got dropped by a jab in that fight, from what I remember.
Yeah. But he had a tough fight though. Kovalev had a tough fight.
Yeah.
It was a tough fight, and then he had a tough fight with Kovalev with Yard at the end of August. And he fought Canelo in October, so he didn't have much of a camp. And also, if those people who didn't know, also was the fact that he had a case going on at the time as well, some crazy case that I don't want to get into.
Okay.
But he had a case going on at that time. He had a same day weigh-in. He had to weigh in on the same day that he a rehydration weigh-in. Canelo even said that himself. That he had a same day rehydration clause, and he was still up on the cards, on many people's cards. After all of that, after getting knocked up by Alvarez, after having a tough fight with Yard, after having about 8 weeks to recover from the Yard fight, to go in there with Canelo, and you're still up on the cards, and you had the same day weigh-in, you didn't even get to rehydrate properly. I mean, I thought that Canelo didn't have a good performance against Kovalev, to be honest. I didn't think he did. He has a good left. Yeah, we read that already. He fought well on the inside against Uzcategui. He did, and credit to that. But I mean, Uzcategui isn't Benavidez, is he? Bivol is a great fighter. He doesn't get enough props. I mean, you definitely can't say that from me, because I mean, you speak to anyone who ever knows me, you know that Bivol for years has been one of my favorite fighters. I've got a post of I've got like 4 or 5 articles of Bivol that I wrote in 2019. One of them was about Bivol versus Zerdo Ramirez. Another thing, Bivol first came on my radar when he was about 7-0. And he had a face-off with him and Andre Ward. Andre Ward was still champion at the time, and he was Andre Ward's number 1 contender at that time. I think he was about 7-0, 8-0, and they had a face-off in, I don't remember what gym it was. And ever since then, because Andre Ward was one of my favorite fighters growing up, and I remember ever since then, I just remember watching this dude, and I wanted Bivol to fail. I remember watching him fight, Isaac Chilemba, Sullivan Barrera, just thinking that he's gonna fail. And then he just made a believer out of me, watching him. And then he became one of my favorite fighters. Literally, he became one of my favorite fighters. And I told everybody he will beat Canelo. Everyone. Literally before the fight, I told everyone he will beat Canelo. I was not surprised at all that he won. I was just surprised that the judges gave it to him. Canelo stopped using his jab for like 5 fights, and it caught up to him. He could never beat Canelo. Bivol.
But from what I remember, he fought what's the guy's name? John Pascal. I could have went to that fight because I go to fights a lot in New Jersey. So, but I think by the time I even found out it was in New Jersey, I would have got tickets if I knew ahead of time. But yeah, but after the fact, after I seen that fight, that's when I found out it was in Jersey. I would definitely have went to that.
Yeah. No, Kovalev had won the rematch against Alida Alvarez. Yeah, I know he won the rematch. but he didn't. He got knocked out. My point was he got knocked out, and then he got a rematch. Regardless, my point was still remains like he had been knocked out. So the vulnerabilities was already there in Kovalev. He got knocked out by Alida Alvarez. He did win the rematch. It was a 12-round unanimous decision. He won every single round. I remember that. I remember that was January of 2019. I think January of 2019. I think. And he fought was it 2019, 2018? I could be wrong, but it was definitely in a January. But yeah, he did get knocked out by Alida Alvarez regardless. Marta says Canelo is steroid. Canelo lost fight against Golovkin. I don't think he lost the fight, but it wasn't a very good fight from either fight. I thought both fighters were poor. Canelo is a maggot. You can clearly see this dude is not a Canelo fan. Toshi says he's questioning you, Marta. I want to see a little bit of a debate. He said, "What? Hey there, Shane. Shout out to you, Toshi, my guy. What's up to you? Good to see you covering the fight. Listen, I'll tell you the truth. I cover sports, cover the fights that entertain me, and I saw that no one was covering it, so I thought to myself, I have to do this fight justice because this is one of the best fights of the year. And me, I see myself as partly responsible for this fight happening because I was calling for this fight 3 years ago before everybody else was. So because of that, it would be stupid of me not to cover it. Frustrada means frustrated. He says no. Yeah, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I know you liked Bivol, but people were calling Bivol a nobody. I know. I got that the most, bro. Somebody done a video in direct response to me. I'm not gonna say their name. The person knows who they are. They done a video calling Bivol a plain hoagie, and they said they personally name dropped me. And I was telling everyone Bivol's gonna win this fight. Nobody believed me, and people were saying it was just because I was hating on Canelo. But it's because I've been watching Bivol for years. I've been watching Canelo for years as well. And stylistically, you can't beat him. The ring walks are going on now, so that's fantastic. For Tardem, man, read slowly and carefully. Understood. Yes, January 2019. Exactly, bro. I'm a boxing encyclopedia when it comes to these dates. I'm joking. I know I just made the switch up to be fun. You must be frustrated. Why are you calling Canelo a maggot? Thank you. They're going back and forth. Definitely a great fight. Underrated fight here. Zerdo is a true story. Definitely. I mean, what Verdo's what 44-0. You know, he's chasing Floyd Money Mayweather. I mean, he could probably beat Floyd Mayweather if he decided to continue with the level of competition he's been fighting in the last couple years. I mean, who's he fought? Tommy Carpensi. He fought.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too about Carpensi. Yeah,
he fought Carpensi. Who's the other dude he fought? He fought Gonzalez. I think that's his name. He fought Sullivan Barrera. At 175, I think that's it. I mean, at 168, he fought Abraham. He fought Vlasov, which is a good win. He got Vlasov's a real good fighter. Vlasov's who Joe Smith beat to the 175-pound champion to become 175 champion. Zerdo beat Vlasov. And I think he beat Abraham, he beat Vlasov, he beat Jesse Hart twice. So he does have decent names on his resume, but he doesn't have anyone on Bivol's level. I bet on Bivol also for a plus 400. Wow. I wouldn't bet on this fight. Now I'm actually getting quite excited, so bear with me, you know.
I remember Carpensi losing bad to Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah. Carpensi's had some real bad losses in his career. But then I also remember Carpensi dropping Volzik. You remember that? When he dropped Volzik in the first round.
Right, yeah. But a lot of people don't know this. I seen Adonis Stevenson years ago, and he got his very first loss. But I know he's had he had that bad knockout. You know, he basically ain't been fighting since. You know, but yeah, I seen him when he got his first loss. This was years ago. Man, I seen a lot of guys. You know, I was telling G5. You know, I was there when Sean Porter debuted it, and I was there at Sean Porter's first fight. This was back in 2008. I was there at Sean Porter's debut fight. Yeah. Yeah, so I've seen, and Gabe Rosado. I know a lot of people don't give credit to Gabe Rosado, but I seen Rosado fight on TV back in like 2009, and he's still fighting. You know, so he's been in the game a long time. I know he's
Now,
got a lot of losses, but
Gabe Rosato's a veteran.
He's a
Gabe
legit
Rosado,
gatekeeper, man.
You know who Gabe Rosado reminds me of? Derek Chisora.
Derek Chisora, yeah.
Yeah, they've just been around the block, bro.
Right,
and they're gonna go in there and they're gonna give a good fight. That's who Gabe Rosado is, bro.
Right. Yeah.
I remember when Gabe Rosado fought Gravatsky, and he literally just gave up the first half of the fight. And in the second half of the fight, he just flicked the switch and he just turned up. And in that final round, that was one of the most electrifying Gabe Rosado performances I've seen at that time. You know, the punch combinations that he put together, the aggression was fantastic.
Yeah. And
hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. What dudes who are jumping in the building, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man.
Yeah, I was saying I think he beat Danny Jacobs, and I honestly think he was doing. I had him winning against Peter Quillen, but you know he's that fight got stopped because you know he cuts bad in a lot of his fights.
Yeah, a lot of dudes. Yeah, he does cut bad. You know, he does cut bad.
Yeah, same thing with Anthony Durrell. You know, there's a lot of fights.
I was about to say that.
Cut bad.
Durrell does cut bad as well.
Yeah, so both guys in the ring.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know, Ricky Hatton's son fought earlier today, right?
Yeah.
He got a knockout.
Campbell Hatton.
Yeah, he got a knockout from what I've seen.
Campbell Hatton.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this fight, man. Yeah. Looking forward to this fight. After watching the first 2 minutes or so, I should be able to see what type of approach Zerdo's coming in with. If Zerdo comes in with the out-and-out aggression from round one, just applying pressure, landing big shots, loading up, coming with volume, then it's gonna be a good fight. If he decides to be a bit more circumspect, then I think Bivol's just gonna sweep it.
Yeah. Do you got yours on mute, or you got your volume up?
It's low. It's low.
It's just okay. I was just curious because you know, like since we chatted, I didn't know if you had it on, but you know, I think I might start doing that too. You know, like maybe covering fights live. You know, I had some guys ask me that, like, "Hey, man, you gonna cover the fight?" And I was like, you know, I never did think about that, so I may start doing that. You know?
I'll give you some advice, bro. You be on live longer than you think you were on live for, because you go live before maybe for an undercard fight, and then you're on live, and then you're watching the prelims, and then in between each fight, and then all of a sudden the main event comes. Then they do all the ring walks, and then the main event fight. You know, you end up being on live for like 3 hours.
Yeah, so you think it's good to go live before the main event then?
If you're on live by yourself, it's hard. You don't really want to be on it just for the main event, because you need to just build up.
True. Yeah, I may start doing that then, because I was thinking of other ways, you know, like I can like possibly expand. You know, like I said, I got an interview with a boxer, I got an interview with a coach, so you know, I'm glad to have done those two things. So you know,
I'm coming back. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody tuned in. You know, Bivol and Ramirez is in the ring. You know, they just doing the announcements. I'm gonna go for Bivol by decision. You know, even though Ramirez, you know, he's got a lot of knockouts for like 30 KOs and 40-something fights. I'm gonna go for Bivol by decision. And I said, everybody tuning in, you know, subscribe to my channel, In This Corner Podcast. Man, that's something I'm definitely thinking about doing. You know, I'm gonna start going live, you know, for some of these fights. You know, even though going live, it's later on in the night, you know, around like 8 o'clock. You know, I definitely probably start going live for some of these fights. You know, everybody can tune in. You know, they can chop it up. So later on tonight, we got a lot of cards later on tonight. You know, the Showtime card. I believe it's let's see, David Rommel David Morrell. We got and on the undercard is Brian Mendoza. Let me see it. Let's see something. Yeah, so we got Jason Rosario versus Brian Mendoza, and Nathaniel Gallimore returns.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No, I mean, I was just talking to people. I was just talking, try to keep it going, for everybody that was still listening. I was
It's
telling
cool, man.
everybody, about the card
We got
later
a
on
few
tonight.
people in the building right now, so shout out to everyone who's in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm looking forward to this, man. This is one of my fights of the year, so I don't want to be disappointed, Bivol looks focused, Zerdo looks focused, so I hope we
they
get a
look
good
ready.
fight, man.
Yeah, they look pumped. They look ready.
Live on the zone. Shout out to the zone, man. Credit to the zone. Credit to the zone for getting this fight done, man. Because we rarely get fights like this. Zerdo looks massive.
Yeah, intense stare down.
It's crazy how you see Zerdo used to make 168 pounds.
Yeah. Ramirez, they say he's a former middleweight champion. So
super
he moved up too.
Yeah, he moved up and he's massive. Let's go. Let's go. Let me see who goes center ring first. They both looking to go center the ring straight away. Ring the bell. Someone's always got to go, man. Bivol's going center ring straight away. So Zerdo looks like you can see the battle of the Southpaw Orthodox stance already. Look at the left foot and right foots. They're both stepping. You can see at some point Zerdo's going to try and step on that leading foot of Bivol, So just to cut the distance, Bivol already looks like he's trying to back Zerdo up. I'm surprised
too.
Huh?
He's tall. I actually thought Bivol was taller, but Zerdo's taller.
No. Zerdo's big. I saw Zerdo next to Michael Hunter, who's a heavyweight, and there wasn't much of a size difference. I'll tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. One thing about Zerdo is he can also take a punch as well, Yeah. I'm surprised Bivol's taking this approach, by the way. You can see him backing up Zerdo already. I'm surprised Zerdo's decided to be so negative. I don't know if he's trying to pull things in. Mm-hmm. Again, the ref had to judge them about what I already could see happening, which was the leading foots. Look at the leading foots. The leading foots are just colliding with each other, Southpaw Orthodox stance. I'm surprised Bivol hasn't tried to use the slapping left hand yet. You can see that there's a clear difference in hand speed. Zerdo's punches are a little bit more, wiry and around, whereas Bivol's punches are straight down a pipe. And Zerdo is going to have to straighten those shots to cause Bivol any trouble, because Bivol keeps his hands pretty center and straight down the middle, and he always keeps a punch. He always keeps a hand home. When he's throwing the left, the right's home. When he's throwing the right, the left's home. I don't like this approach from Zerdo. I won't lie to you. He's got to be much more aggressive, because if he lets Bivol get into a rhythm, he's going to get beaten to the punch, just like he done there, Yeah,
I agree.
He can't try and fight this boxing game with Bivol. I don't know if he's just doing it for the first round, but you can clearly see that Bivol has to worry about that back and left though from the southpaw stance, because he's keeping the right hand on the outside of his chin. He needs to keep it straighter, because the shot's coming from underneath. Ooh. It's not coming from over the top. Just like that. If you can just see, Zerdo just landed a good straight, and it didn't come from over the top. It came from underneath. So he does have to
Zerdo
worry
landed
about
a good shot, also. Man.
Huh?
I think he landed a good shot, Zerdo.
I can see Will Stokes is clearly ahead. I don't know how he's ahead, because I'm watching this live. So something must be going wrong here, because I'm watching this fight live. So I don't know how this dude's ahead. I'm watching the zone. How do you got this dude ahead? You already said the round's over. How's the round over? That's a good shot from Zerdo.
Zerdo landed another good shot, but
Bivol landed a good shot at the end. I think Bivol won that round. I won't lie to you.
Bivol caught some nice shots in at the end of the round.
Yeah,
Nice shots. Yeah.
I would say 1-0 to Bivol. I don't. Oh, that's why it's not all the way ahead. Oh, that's why I'm not. I somehow I fast forwarded it back. I don't know how, but yeah, I gave that first round to Bivol.
Okay.
Um, again,
I I
Zerdo just
would I would say either Bivol or a tie. Just
nah.
me.
I think
Okay.
Bivol won that round because Zerdo, he's just giving up ground. I'm just surprised Zerdo's
Oh yeah,
taking the
yeah. I'm
control.
seeing the replay. Yeah, now he landed. Yeah, I had to see that replay. Yeah, he landed a nice spotted shot. Yeah. Okay.
Again, Zerdo is losing the battle of the footwork. He's letting Bivol build up momentum. And this is what you don't want to do. This is the worst fighter to do this against. It's good. You might want to do it against other fighters, but you can't let this dude build up momentum. Because if he gets into a rhythm, it's a problem. Because he doesn't get out of that rhythm. It's backing him up. Again, Bivol hasn't taken a backward step in this fight yet. And it's because Zerdo hasn't tried to apply any pressure with any punches. Even the jab he's throwing, it's just too basic. He's not changing the levels of the jab. He's not changing the speed of the jab. He's not doubling it up, and he's not bringing his feet with it. He's just throwing the jab, and his feet ain't moving in synchronicity with the jab. He's just reaching. He's got to do something a little bit extra, please. That was a good shot over the top, though. That right hand did land. That left hand did land, though. That was a good shot. I think Zerdo is picking his shots, so I just think he just needs to put a little bit more together. Good shot again from Bivol there on the counter. He's, as Jeff says, Bivol's one of the few fighters that does counter with jabs. So credit to Zerdo for keeping his hand home there, but he does have to bear that in mind. That was a good shot from Zerdo. The issue that I have right now is Bivol doesn't respect Zerdo's power, and I don't know if there's a reason. He just doesn't look like he's respected much of Zerdo's power. He's just walking forward, and for the most part, he's just walking in behind a jab. I don't know what the commentators are saying, but I can't really see how you give Zerdo this round either, because he's not really throwing enough.
I know you in the UK, like you're like, are you at? I'm at 50 seconds of round 2. I don't know if it's like that on your end.
I'm almost finished the round.
Yeah, so it's a little. So I'm a little bit behind you then, but I just seen Bivol get caught with a big shot, but like I said, we're not even at the same point in the round. So
yeah, I'm live now. They said 1-0 to Bivol. Okay, won't write at the end of the round. You can write at the end of the round now, bro. I've sped it back up, so I'm live. Mrs. X Murder, who winning? Personally, I got Bivol 2 rounds up. Zerdo's already shown his hand, and that's the problem. Because for me, I wanted to see Zerdo apply a little bit more aggression, a little bit more pressure, try walk Bivol down a bit more, but he's allowing Bivol to take center ring, and that's what you don't want to do against someone, as Legend was saying earlier. When you got the technical advantages, you don't want to just give him the space. You don't want to give him the space to work. You almost got to make it a bit messy, because he's going to land more of his punches, because his punches are straighter. His punches are straight down the pipe, and he's just more active with that jab. He said he's got a suspicion. Will Stokes said he's got a suspicion that he's going to stop Zerdo. I don't know about that. I just think Bivol's just going to school him. It reminds me very similar of the Salamov fight. Salamov decided to take the slow approach early against Bivol, and then once Bivol got into a certain rhythm, me and Blunt watched that fight live, and we actually thought Bivol was going to stop Salamov, but then Bivol just got into a cruise gear and just didn't kick on. He got into look at the left and right foot. They're stepping on each other's foot just to gain distance. And that's a very Mexican thing to do. No offense to Mexicans, it's just a really good tactic to close the distance. But it's Bivol doing it to Zerdo and not Zerdo doing it to Bivol. You can see him stepping on the foot just to close the distance. What that does is it makes it hard for you to slide your foot back, because it's being trodden on. That the ref needs to keep an eye on that. Zerdo needs to do something extra because he's getting circled real easily. You know, Bivol hasn't even started pivoting yet, which is a worry because when Bivol starts to use his foot movement, he's actually held his feet much more than the last time I saw Bivol hold his feet like that was against Castillo. I haven't seen him hold his feet like this in a while, and Sullivan Barrera also. Zerdo is getting countered way too easy. He's getting walked onto the backhand, and he's not really taking advantage of the southpaw stance because he's not placing his feet in the right place. You know, he's allowing Bivol to center him so much, and he's bringing his shots around instead of straight. The only shot that I would be worried about if I was Bivol was the left hand that comes from underneath his eye vision, because Bivol actually doesn't cover it because his hand's on the outside of his face instead of center. You know, you've got to catch it here instead of catching it here. But other than that, I wouldn't be worried about anything else. You know, you can clearly see. You can clearly see Zerdo is just literally in a maze right now. It's like he's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. He just can't break the distance. He's getting countered every time he throws, and Bivol's got the range already. Bivol's got the range already. This is a man who's got longer arms than him as well, by the way. Bivol has longer arms, but Zerdo is just not getting the range right. And he's not allowing his foot placement to take over. And me and Jeff said this at the start of the fight. The foot placement is going to be where he loses this fight. Nothing to do with his hands. It's just where he's placing his feet. He's getting centered way too easily. Again, he's getting hit with too much easy shots on the counter. Again, I think Bivol's won this fight easily. Bivol constantly steps on his feet. And normally the southpaw does that to the orthodox, you know. Sometimes the orthodox does it to the southpaw, but normally the southpaw does that to the orthodox. Normally the aggressive fighter does it to the one who's moving. But Zerdo is supposed to be the one on the front foot. He's not taking advantage of none of the physical advantages that he has, whether it's strength, whether it's overwhelming weight and size. You know, he's not taking advantage of that. He's not taking advantage of his very good hand skills that he has on the inside of the pocket. I know exactly what Bivol's coach is telling him right now as well, because even though I don't speak Russian, I know exactly what he's telling him because I've watched every single Bivol fight, and I know exactly what he's saying. He's telling him, keep the distance and keep countering. That's what he's telling him, because that's all I've ever heard his coach ever say. His coach is one of the funniest coaches ever. His instructions are always the same every fight. I'll never forget when Bivol fought Joe Smith Jr. He literally said the same thing every single round. He said, I've got it 2-1 actually. I don't know how you gave Ramirez that last round. He didn't even land anything in that last round. Stream the fight before you catch these big Brixton hands. I don't know what he's talking about, but shout out to you, bro. Thanks for being in the chat and commenting, bro. Get the zone if you want the fight. Get the zone. That's what I'm actually promoting the zone today because they done a good card. If the card was trash, I would have given you a link for the fight. But when they do well, I'll encourage people to buy. Yeah, Zerdo's getting backed up way too easily here. He's getting backed up way too easily. I don't know what the game plan was for Zerdo, but I don't think he's going to plan because for some reason he's deciding to take this slow route and it ain't working. Conrad's got it the same as me, 3-0. I don't even think it matters because if Zerdo don't make a switch up, I can't see how he wins this fight anyway because he's going to have to do something to add, you know, to the pace of the fight. He's not doing much, you know. He's just expending a lot of energy defending. You know, you can see how focused he is, but look in between rounds and see how tired he is.
Yeah.
Bro, Conrad, don't give links, bro. I want people to actually go and watch this fight. I normally am the king for links and I'll normally drop links in the chat, but I want people to actually go and support the zone because it's a good card. If it was a bad card, I would have given you a link, bro. But when boxing is giving me good things, I will promote boxing. When it doesn't, then I'll get then I'll find shortcuts. But there's no
Is,
shortcuts today.
is there any other cards you covered this year?
What do you mean?
Like, did you go live for like any other cards this year? Like,
I went live for last year. I went live for maybe 20 something cards. This year I probably went live for maybe one or two. But last year I went
wow,
live for like 20 something cards. Me and Jeff used to go live for every fight that was on the prediction league.
wow.
Whether it was in Australia, whether it was in Japan, whether it was in America, the UK, we went live for it.
Yeah, that's something I want to start doing then.
Zerdo's not doing that bad in this round. I won't lie to you. He started the round poor, but he's not doing that bad. He's not landing anything, but at least he's staying out of danger.
Mm.
I went live for Tyson versus Douglas. I mean, I didn't think there was YouTube when Tyson and Douglas was fighting, but is what it is. Chocolatito or Estrada. That's an amazing fight. That's another fight the zone's providing, which I think they got to get credit for. I've been criticizing the zone for the past few months, so I'm going to give them credit. You know, I think Chocolatito will win. Estrada's not been great recently. Even though Estrada won the last fight, I know Jeff thought Chocolatito won the last fight, but on the actual judges' scorecard, Estrada won. I think Chocolatito will win this one. Chocolatito won the first one as well. Chocolatito won the first one, so it's 2-1. It's 1-1, correct? Estrada's got one, Chocolatito's got one, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
So this one's gonna basically be the 2 out of 3, basically. And I think if the fight's a good fight, they might as well do a fourth one because both fighters don't really have much at their weight class. He said he's got it 2-2. I think I've got it 3-1. I think I've got it 3-1 Bivol. I think Zerdo done well in that last round, considering. He's got it 2-2. Fair enough.
There's a lot of fights that go up to 4. Go up to 4 fights. I know. I can't really think of anybody outside of Pac and Marquez. Is there any other fighters that made it to 4 fights? I'm sure it's a lot, but
there must be. I just can't. Ken Norton, Muhammad Ali, of course.
Yeah.
Zerdo's deciding to step up the pace a bit, so I'm hoping this. Zerdo's deciding to step up the pace a bit, so this should be a more entertaining fight. I expected this a bit earlier in the fight, but we'll see. Maybe Zerdo didn't trust his conditioning to do it for full 12 rounds. It's much more of a slower pace fight than I thought it would be. I think Zerdo's coming to his own a little bit more recently, but yeah. His Conrad's got it 4-0. I got it 3-1. I won't lie to you. Zerdo done better than the last round, but not better than Bivol. I see you.
He got it. He's got it 4-0 for who?
He's got it 4-0 to Bivol.
Okay.
Zerdo's stepping up the punch output, but he's definitely losing this round. I think this is a clear Bivol round, but he's trying to be a bit more aggressive. But he obviously understands that being aggressive means that you're more easier to hit on the counter. You know, as again, he does need to be like this though to disturb Bivol's rhythm. You know, Bivol just looks a bit too comfortable, even though it's he lost the last round, he still looks comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I think he looks comfortable as well. Yeah.
There's not a lot of work from either fighter.
Right.
You know, but Bivol is definitely the more aggressive of the two. You know, he's backed him up to the ropes again.
Right. Yeah.
You just see the boxing skills is just way more superior than Zerdo Ramirez. That's why I wanted to see Zerdo Ramirez be a little bit more aggressive and not try to have a boxing match with a dude who's just way more superior in terms of skills.
Yeah. I think Bivol
Bivol's
is more
definitely won this
composed.
round. Bivol's
He
definitely
looks
won
more
this round.
composed, and Zelda looks like he's really trying to win. But I think Bivol he definitely looks more composed.
Yeah, John says he thinks they'll fight 4 times. I think if they fight 4 times, I wouldn't complain, especially if the third fight is a good fight, as good as the second one and the first one. I want to see it again. Bivol aggressive so far. Yeah, Bivol's been the more aggressor in the out of the two. I do suspect that Zerdo at some point is going to flick the switch because he's got to look at the scorecard and think he's down. I don't know. I mean, someone has it 2-2. I don't know how. I think Zerdo's only won 1 round, and I mean, those are 2 really good shots that he got caught with.
Yeah, unofficial. One of the cards I just saw, they had it a tie.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah, sometimes we don't know what something like we all judge fights differently. So like sometimes I ask myself, what are the judges saying?
Someone said Zerdo's doing better than I expected. I think he's doing worse than I expected, to be honest. I won't lie to you, because I expected to see a little bit more aggression. I've watched a lot of Zerdo fights. Zerdo doesn't fight like this normally. Zerdo's normally come forward. He takes fighters to the ropes and he loads up on punches. So I don't know why he's deciding to fight so circumspect. Normally his punch outputs, you see 70 to 80 punches around, and most of them are hooks, not jabs. He's always in the pocket trying to get his big shots off. He fights very similar to Brandon Figueroa, and I'm just surprised that he decided to take this approach. I don't know if Bivol's done something that circumnavigated this offense, but he's definitely done something, because Zerdo is not as aggressive as he normally is. I think Zerdo's done worse because he just allowed Bivol to get into a groove. I expected him to win rounds anyway, but I didn't expect him to just give up rounds.
Yeah, I gave Bivol that round.
Yeah, clearly.
Like what you were saying about Brandon Figueroa, man, if I was a boxer, I would not fight him, man. Like his work ethic, like he stays coming forward. Like even when he beat Fulton, I believe Fulton was uncomfortable in that fight, man.
He lost to Fulton.
Yeah, I know, but I believe that Fulton was just uncomfortable. Like he looked uncomfortable.
Fulton was definitely uncomfortable, but Fulton makes everyone uncomfortable. I mean, Figueroa makes everyone uncomfortable with his overwhelming size and his just overwhelming aggression. That's what Zerdo does. And I'm just surprised he's fighting this style. If you watch Zerdo fight, Zerdo fights every fight like that. So I'm just surprised he's deciding to take this approach.
Bivol just
picking him off.
Yeah, Bivol just got the skills. I said they're Zerdo's taller, but they like when they're fighting, they look like the same. They look like the same height. But I definitely gave. Are you on round 6?
Yeah, I'm on round 6.
Yeah, I definitely gave round 5 to Bivol. Yeah, he landed some decent shots in that one.
I just expected a lot more aggression from Zerdo. I just haven't seen enough punches landed from Zerdo Ramirez, unfortunately. He's not taking over the center of the ring like I thought he would. He's getting backed up way too easily. Obviously, I expected him to get caught with jabs because that's Bivol's key weapon, but he's just getting easily maneuvered back to the ropes. I'm gonna get through the comments, guys. I'm just really intrigued by this fight, so bear with me. Again, you would have thought Bivol was the bigger guy. I'm being dead honest.
That's what I was thinking. Like prior to this fight, starting, I just thought that Bivol was bigger about it. I didn't even know that Zerdo was actually tall.
The way Zerdo's fighting, you would have thought Bivol was the bigger guy.
Yeah.
Bivol won that round as well. I think that was another clear round. Zerdo's allowing Bivol to get into a groove. Zerdo is a cruiserweight. He's a big dude, but he's not using his size today. It's 3-2. I got it 4-2 now. I got it. How many rounds is gone? I got Zerdo winning 1, and I got Bivol winning the rest. Zerdo is doing better than I expected. I think he's doing worse. 5-0. This is a difference in levels. I mean, I agree. For every shot Zerdo hits, Bivol hits 3. It's 4-1 Bivol. I got Bivol way ahead now. Conrad, what's up, Andre? Oh, good. Long time just watching the fight, listening to the commentary in the background. You need to be listening to our commentary in the background. You know, I'm hoping that's what you're referring to. Ramirez seems to be gun shy. I'm saying the same thing, Chris G. I'm saying the same thing, bro. It's like I've watched so many Zerdo fights, and I've just never seen him fight like this. I got it 5-1. I got it 5-1. You guys got it 4-2. I got it 5-1. I've given Zerdo 1 round. He's got to come out more aggressive now. Second half of the fight, he's got to do something, you know. He's got to do something to get back into this fight, because he's just getting backed up, pressured, getting hit way too easy. Whenever he comes forward and gets his offense off, he's getting hit. And what you got to understand is Bivol is a dude who fights like this from round 1 to round 12. You got to make the difference. And I said this to Jeff. The fight is going to be made by what Zerdo does, not by what Bivol does. Bivol is going to do what he does every fight. The hand speed of Bivol is just so faster than what Zerdo is throwing. You know, Zerdo is really selecting his shots, and I give him credit for that, because at times it has worked. It's just not frequent enough. Conrad's got his 6-0. Wow. Yeah. I don't have it that far ahead, but I got it 5-1.
Yeah, that's why I like sometimes, honestly, like, we all like knockouts, but like, you know, sometimes I like when a fighter is feather fisted, you know, because you get to see, you get to see them display their skills, you know, go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? If you're a knockout artist, sometimes you ain't gonna see much, you know what I mean? But when you feather fisted, then you get to see a lot of skill.
Yeah, of course. And as you can see, you can clearly see the skill levels, you know, because Bivol isn't like, Bivol reminds me of Devin Haney. You know, they just win rounds, and that's what they do. They win rounds, you know.
Yeah.
He's applying more pressure now. You know, I don't think he landed anything, but at least he's applying pressure. Again, he didn't land much there. He's getting absolutely backed up. Oh! Good shot by Bivol again. That is a really good shot that's landed. Zerdo is deciding to come and bring more pressure now. I think he's decided to let his hands go, because he just can't keep taking their shots. I can't see Zerdo getting stopped. Zerdo's got a good chin. I see you guys commenting in the comment section. Shout out to Church, man. That's a good job by Zerdo, but again, you got to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, he can't sustain his attacks. Do you think there's a fitness issue with Zerdo? Like, he doesn't trust his gas tank? Legend.
Say that again.
You think he doesn't trust his gas tank? Because he can't sustain his attacks.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you guys think in the comment section? Do you think there's a fitness? Because I know Chris G alluded to it earlier that he's gun shy. You think he just doesn't trust his overall output? It reminds me of when Yard was fighting Lyndon Arthur the first time. You know, you just didn't see him let his hands go.
Yeah.
Zerdo will get stopped by not round 8. I don't think so. I think it'll go 12. Chris G, I agree. What the heck is Ramirez doing? To me, Ramirez is losing. He lost that round also. I thought he lost that round big, because he got hit with some real good shots. Bigger guy backing down and not sitting on any punch. I don't know what's going on here. You know, I know I'm a big Bivol fan, but they're making Bivol look like a prime Floyd right now.
He just can't do what he can to Bivol like he did the other fighter, because Bivol is just a much skilled fighter.
Yeah, but I just expected more aggression. But maybe he got hit with something that put something in his that just made him more reluctant to throw. Big round for Bivol. Yeah, I got it 6-1. I'm not gonna lie, but this is the part of the fight where I think Bivol is gonna take over, because Bivol's into a groove now. I remember when he fought Sullivan Barrera, and he just got into a groove and he just doesn't get out of it. It's like Devin Haney. When they get into a groove, it's just one of the hardest things to get them out of. You know, same thing with Canelo. You know, he got into a groove against Canelo and he just didn't get out of that groove. You know, Canelo couldn't do anything to offset him.
Yeah, like round seven was definitely all Bivol. Like, I think he keeps it up, man. He's definitely gonna make this easy.
Yeah.
Round 7 was all Bivol.
Zerdo needs a knockdown at least. I mean, I don't know where he's getting that knockdown. He's not letting his hands go, so I don't know where he's getting that knockdown from. And to the Russians that's in the comments, I don't speak Russian, unfortunately, so I can't translate what you're saying, but thank you for being in the comments. Center of the ring, not much is going on. You would have thought, I mean, I don't know what Zerdo approaches. You know, I don't know what his approach is. It's not a good one. Mm. He's just getting absolutely beaten to the punch every time. Mm. A good shot, but then he's not sustaining the attack.
So you on round 8?
Yeah, I'm on round 8 right now, halfway through round 8.
Gotcha. So my stream's going a little slower than yours then.
Yeah, I'm watching it live.
Yeah, I'm watching it live. Yeah, I am too. Like, I guess mine's just.
It was doing like that for me before, and then I just sped it up so I can actually. I don't know how that happened, because I was watching it live from the start.
Yeah. Like round 8 is just starting for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Zerdo's done well in this round, though. I won't lie to you. I actually think Zerdo's done well in it, even though Zerdo ain't really done much. Bivol ain't done nothing. I don't know if Bivol is just deciding to take Zerdo into deep water and almost. Okay, he's absolutely teeing off on him now. This is what they were talking about, him might getting stopped, because he just got hit with maybe a 6-punch combination there, because Zerdo looks absolutely spent, and he looked at his corner there. I never like when a fighter looks at his corner. Bivol's holding his feet a bit on the ropes. Zerdo just can't sustain any form of attack. I don't know if he just can't trust his gas tank. If he's not had the best camp, I don't know what the reason is, you know, but he just can't trust his gas tank. He's not letting his hands go enough in rounds. But I thought Zerdo done well in that round. I don't know if he won it, but he done well. He done better than he done the last 2 rounds. He definitely looks absolutely spent, though. For someone who ain't thrown that much punches, Zerdo looks absolutely spent. For sure, Conrad, Zerdo needs to land something big. I don't know where it's coming from, though. He looks absolutely knackered. I want to see how Bivol looks in the corner. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to see how he looks in the corner. Ramirez literally got paid to lose. What the F am I watching? Yeah, what the hell are you watching? You're Mexican. You got to support your Mexican all the way to the end, innit? He literally is doing nothing. I don't know what. I don't think his conditioning was right, because I've just never seen Zerdo fight like this before. You know, he just hasn't trusted his gas tank at all. You know, he hasn't let his hands go. He's just been teed off the whole way through. Thank you guys for the good work. Shout out to you for tuning in, man. I'll do this for the good fights, man. Boxing has been disappointing us recently, you know, with the drug testing and the failed negotiations, etc. But boxing is doing well for us now.
So, like, how many times has he fought at this weight? Has he?
Sorry,
Zerdo, you said he moved up for this, right?
Yeah.
So
he's been at 175 for about 3 years now.
Yeah. Bivol.
He hasn't fought any high-level competition. He fought Sullivan Barrera. It's probably the highest level competition he's fought at 175, and Sullivan Barrera is way past his prime. But Zerdo hasn't gone 12 rounds in years also. He's been getting a lot of stoppages recently, so back end of the fight, we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a lot of KOs, so.
I don't think Zerdo will get stopped, as I said. I think Zerdo will just try and cruise his way through it. But he's got to sustain some form of attack, you know. Bivol's now deciding to use the high guard a little bit more. Got countered there again. I think Bivol's waiting for Zerdo to get close so he can catch him with counter shots. I think Bivol isn't leading anymore. Bivol Zerdo's doing much better in this round. He's doing much better in this round. I don't know if Bivol's taken a round off, but Bivol Ramirez is doing much better in this round.
You think Zerdo's doing better than Canelo? Or no, not at all.
No way, because at least Canelo was letting his hands go.
Yeah.
Bivol Zerdo's doing better in this round though. He's definitely doing better in this round. I don't know if Bivol's just taking a round off or he wants to. Oh gosh, Zerdo is. Oh gosh, I don't know if Zerdo's hurt. The pivot there. Oh my gosh, look at that pivot. Oh, look at the pivot. Oh, I don't know if Zerdo's hurt. That pivot there. I don't know if you guys saw that pivot, but that pivot was fantastic. That was a Lomachenko-esque pivot for light heavyweight. Look at the footwork of Bivol. The footwork is just, it's like a 5-year-old solving a Rubik's Cube right now. Literally, that is literally what we're seeing. That was probably one of Zerdo's best rounds, and he still got hit with some real big punches. He almost got dropped. Think we'll see Zerdo go for it. I mean, I hope we can. At least he can make the fight a little bit entertaining, because I've stopped scoring this fight because I can't see how Zerdo can win this fight on the cards. Bivol's gone into a groove, and when he's in a groove, you just can't get him out of it. 7-1, Zerdo hit some body shots. Bivol took the foot off the gas a bit. Yeah, I think he did as well. Let's see what he can do. If Ramirez fights like that against any top 160 or 175, he gets stopped. Well, I mean, he can't fight like that against Beterbiev, because Beterbiev will absolutely kill him. And I don't want to use the word kill, but Beterbiev is a murderer in the ring. This dude does not play, you know. This should be 10-2, 11-1 scorecards by the end. Yeah, boy, it's looking like that. I'm not going to lie to you. 7-2, Zerdo showed some activity. He did. You know, he did show some activity. I don't know if that activity gassed him out. There's only 3 rounds left. So I want to know how Chris Mannix has got it. Chris Mannix, bro, he's got it, what, 7-2? So Zerdo needs to get a knockout or something. Bivol must be confident in the judges. I mean, Bivol just got a judge's decision against Canelo. So if you can get a judge's decision against Canelo, I don't think you'll ever question judges again. Because, and to be fair, this isn't a close fight where it should even go, where the judges should even question who's winning. This is a clear Bivol winning. I don't even think Zerdo's going to put his hands up when the fight's over.
He just had to let his hands go like crazy through, you know.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do a Sean Porter right now and just swing it in. Look how he just pivoted him out of the ring. The pivot game is just too good. The footwork is just way too superior. He's backed him up against the ropes. I don't know why Canelo wants to fight Bivol anyway. Canelo's got dudes at 168 he can fight, like Benavidez for one. But if Benavidez beats Plant, then there's nowhere to run for Canelo to me. Zerdo's tired. He's already holding.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy.
It's just
easy win.
Bivol doesn't throw a lot though. He hasn't thrown a lot in this round. I don't know if he's taking his time. I don't know if he's taking rounds off. Bivol hasn't thrown a lot in this round. I don't know what the game plan is. I just would have thought you would have stepped on the gas a little bit more. Again, this reminds me of the Salamo fight. You know, he done this in the Salamo fight as well, where at one stage it looked like he was going to get the stoppage, and then he just took his foot off the gas and decided to go back in first gear. And it looks like he's doing it now. Zerdo's won this round. I know that for a fact. Zerdo's definitely won this round. Not much action from either fighter, but Zerdo's won this round.
I mean, that's not really going to change much, though.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Bivol must be. He shouldn't give away the next 3 rounds like this. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. You won't. I don't think you will see him give away any round. I don't think you will see him give away the next 3 rounds. I'm being dead honest. I think he will actually win the next. I think he would actually. He's going to try and win the next 2 rounds at least. I think. You know. I think he's won the fight already, unless he just evades a stoppage. But I think I don't know if he took a round off. I don't know if it was a bit weird. He didn't really do much, but it's something I've seen him do before. I remember him doing this again, as I said, in the Salamov fight. You know, he just was cruising the fight and he just decided to take you know, his foot off the gas a bit. I don't like what Bivol is doing. You know, you gotta come accustomed to this. I've seen Bivol do this a few times in fights. You know, I don't know if he's taken a round off or I don't think he's feeling the pace because he's not tired. But he definitely had a better round there, Zerdo. I just don't. Maybe he just took a round off. We'll see what he does in this round. Maybe he just took a round off.
Yeah, he did. He didn't look tired, but
okay, he's applying his pressure again, so I do expect him to land more punches now. He's applying that pressure again. Yeah, I think he took a round off. I'll be honest, because he's coming out much more aggressive in this round. So I think he took a round off. Look at the shots that he just took there.
who you think would win between Bivol and Beterbiev if they make that fight happen?
I'm gonna talk about that after the fight.
Okay, cool.
I'll talk about that after the fight because that's the fight I want to see next.
So like after y'all
I'm sorry, I'm so
cover...
intrigued that I'm not talking about this their commentary because I'm kind of intrigued by what's going on. I think Bivol's won this round also. I'm just actually trying to pick some of the shots because some of the shots I don't know if they're landing or clean or just being glancing that Bivol's throwing, but he has thrown a lot more shots in this round, and I think he's won this round also. Some real good punches again. Zerdo just hasn't. I don't think Zerdo brought his A game today. He says 7-3. If Zerdo gets 7-5 on my card, then everything is possible with the judges. I get you. What did you say, bro?
I was saying like when y'all after y'all like cover a fight live, do y'all still stay on live and just continue chatting, or do y'all usually
depending on the comment section, but we do have like little conversations, you know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, to answer your question, I do. The Zerdo, the Beterbiev and Bivol fight is a fight that I've been asking for years. Me and Jeff done a video, I think early in Jeff when Jeff started the channel, when he said the 10 fights that we want to see the most, and Number 2 was Bivol versus Beterbiev behind Errol Spence and Crawford. And it was ahead of Wilder versus Fury. I mean, Wilder versus AJ, sorry.
Yeah.
Bivol just edged that round for me. Now, I thought Bivol edged that round, won that round clearly. I don't think Zerdo landed anything clean in that round. He just came forward with no accuracy. I thought Bivol won that round clearly for me. He needs a knockout. He definitely does. He's not fighting like a person who needs a knockout, but he needs a knockout.
Facts.
He's got 30 career knockouts. I don't know how many he's got in round 12, but he needs.
Even if he did get it, I don't think he would still win.
You know, they said he needs a knockout.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect him to be throwing jabs if he needs a knockout. He's doing better though. Oh, that's a good shot from Bivol. Good shot again from Bivol. Zerdo just doesn't land things clean. And for someone who doesn't have the accuracy, you want to see more volume. You know, you can smother your work and land shots that you're not supposed to land by throwing 6s and 7s. He's just been throwing maybe 1s and 2s and 3s. I don't know if he just didn't trust his gas tank.
Yeah. Maybe Bivol is just that great of a fighter. You know, he makes his opponent second guess themselves.
Maybe.
But you don't. I didn't see. You know, anything like, you know, Zerdo having a plan B or anything like that. So
you would have thought Bivol needed to knock out the way Bivol's fighting. Oh. What, we got 30 seconds left of the fight. I even think Bivol won this round. That's disappointing. For all the type of aggression that he's tried to bring, he just hasn't landed enough punches. Yeah, Zerdo's lost this fight. Zerdo's O has gone. Zerdo's O has gone. Zerdo's O is gone. I thought, what was that? 9-3? 9-3? What? How did you score it, bro?
I would say I give Bivol maybe. I would say 10 or 11 rounds. I only gave Zerdo maybe 1 or 2.
It's 2 or 3 rounds. 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah. Maybe the round that Bivol looked like he took off. I give that round to Zerdo, but I don't know if that was 10 or 9.
Yeah, it's a round about maybe 10. I think round 10.
Yeah.
What the hell was that weak ass performance by Zerdo? Yeah, it wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be, man. I know people be messaging me on Instagram right now because I'm a massive Bivol fan, so I know people be messaging me. But yeah, man, that was a good fight. To answer your question, I've always been on the fence about Bivol versus Beterbiev, but I think Beterbiev will win just because of the power. I do think he just has the overall power, and I think at some point that's gonna cause problems, you know. And I think we've seen Bivol hurt against Joe Smith Jr. It wasn't for long, and he didn't go down or anything. He does have good defense, but Bivol blocks too much punches. And when you're blocking punches against Beterbiev, they take his toll, man.
I think when he fights Anthony Yard, I don't think Yard has a chin to,
He doesn't.
He was because he was just based on the fact that he was dropped by a jab against Cover. So I know, and the power that Beterbiev possesses
is different. It's different.
And I used to like his Yard's from the UK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I would say maybe a few years back.
I've interviewed Yard a few times. I've met Yard quite a few times.
I've
met Yard a few times. I met Tunde a few times. You see some of my interviews with those dudes on YouTube. I've met both of those dudes. They're good people. It's just unfortunately he's just not gonna beat Beterbiev.
Yeah. But I remember when I was first seeing those videos with Yard training and stuff, man, he was training hard. He was like serious shape.
I want to hear the scorecards.
Yeah.
I want to hear the scorecard. Did these people think that Zerdo actually stood a chance? Who paid Zerdo not to sit on?
Both scored it up 117 to 111. All three for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated.
Yeah, I think those judges, those scorecards were fair. I think one had it 10-2, the other had it 9-3. I had it 9-3.
Yeah. Well, it's something like either 10-2 or 9-3, yeah.
Not much you can do if your opponent is more skilled faster than you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what Legend was saying.
He just couldn't do anything with him because he was just that good of a fighter. I mean,
oh my gosh, I'm so bad. Oh, it's so bad. My brother wanted to watch this fight. I didn't even wake him up. My brother wanted to watch this fight. Yeah, it's on the zone, so he can watch it tomorrow.
Oh. Are you gonna watch the fights later on Showtime?
Who's on Showtime?
David Morrell, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, Morrell, and what's his name's on the undercard as well? Correct. It's my dude on the undercard.
J-Rock's on the undercard.
J-Rock, Gallimore.
Gallimore's on the undercard. Banana Rosario versus Brian Mendoza.
Yeah.
So it's a decent card. I think Gallimore. I was high on Gallimore years ago. I just think he's
falling off a bit.
Huh?
He's falling off. He's not as. He was supposed to be a highly touted prospect, but just not.
And I don't know if you've seen that fight that caught me on with him was when he fought, what was the guy's name? Justin DeLoach. I became a fan of his after
me and Jeff done the post fight for that on the day after. I remember that.
Okay, cause I was high on him after that fight, man. I was like,
I want to hear
he's from Chicago. I was like, man, this dude is skilled, but like he's then he lost to J-Rock. I wasn't expecting him to lose to J-Rock.
1 second, bro. I want to hear what Bivol was saying. 1 second, bro. 1 second. Yeah. Bivol literally took off only reason why they're the 1 rounds. Yeah. I think that's what Legend was saying. Legend was saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's the only round, Bivol lost in my opinion. And then another round, I don't know which round it was, but one of the earlier rounds.
Yeah. Jason Rosario, he's on the undercard. Willie G,
He's
shout out to
fighting
you, bro.
Brian Mendoza.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Willie G. Where's the fight? This card, the Showtime card.
It's in Minnesota, which is Morel's hometown.
Yeah.
And they said all of his fight speed right there in his hometown. So
Willie G, Bivol outclassed him, definitely. Dimitri, the Mexican slayer, Bivol. I like that. Right now, Bivol can never go to Mexico. It's
I proved myself. I can be the best guy in the world. And I was happy. And now I did another guy who doesn't know what food is. It means a lot for me. And I have a goal. I want to be a beauty champion. But it not all depends on me. If everything depends on me, I fight for belts in 11 fight maybe. But we have a big team. In my team, my manager, 80, thank you for everything, 80. And thank you, Abu Dhabi, for this opportunity. It not depends only on me who I will fight next. We have to argue with the team, which is better for all of us. And we will do it. But hope they will listening to me, what I want.
It does sound like Beterbiev is going to face Anthony Yarde in the first half of next year. Does that make it more likely that we see you in a rematch with Canelo?
Of course, I'm like a kid who has a dream. I want to go to the dream. My heart wants.
yeah, like the zone, like they on the road with the rest of the cards they got.
Yeah.
It depends not on me, but for football, it's interesting fight. Why not? Why not? We can argue, but remember, I'm light heavyweight. This is my weight. Congratulations, Dimitri. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who came. Thank you for everyone who watched my fight, who support me. Thank you, my promoter, Andrei Beauty, who with me from my first fight. This is Andrei Mikhailovich here, and Veronka promotion, and of course, Abu Dhabi, the Department of Tourism, and I can cover everybody with that. Congratulations, you make a tremendous fight. Good turn to Ramirez here.
That's what Zerdo says.
Roberto, just going in the way that you can get going in previous fights.
Well, I did my job. I went to the body. I threw a lot of punches. And then I said, the judges, they did a good job. Congratulations.
Do you feel like you did enough to win this fight?
Well, I guess Floyd Mayweather can sleep easy tonight, isn't it?
And I mean, I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy the night, the good night, the fight, and congratulations. And
You've talked about moving up in weight in the past. You're a big guy. Is it likely we see you jump up in weight for your next fight?
well, I don't know yet. We go back to the gym, to my family, and we'll
Appreciate the effort, Gilberto. Tom?
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If Bivol is not the best fighter in the world on the pound for pound list, he's pretty darn close.
Well, that was that. But that was good, man. It was a good card. I thought Zelfa Barrett and the Zelfa Barrett and Rakamore fight was definitely fight of the night. It was the most competitive fight of what I saw. It looked like Galaya fight won on a split decision. So I guess that fight must have been a really entertaining fight. I didn't watch that fight though. I was actually busy, unfortunately. I couldn't make it on live for that. The Zelfa Barrett fight was a good fight though.
Yeah. So I wasn't really into like when it first started, like the first cards. You know, I actually got really into like the card before the women's card. That's when
Zelfa Barrett fight, yeah.
That's when I really started getting into it. But I had it on, but you know, I wasn't watching the first couple fights like that though.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, give credit to Matchroom for putting on a good card, good main event. I think he was just outclassed. He's just not good enough. But it wasn't on Bivol's fault, and it wasn't on Eddie Hearn's fault neither. This was a fight that Bivol had to take. It was his mandatory, but it was also a dude who's 44-0, who's never lost a fight before, former world champion. He's taken on good level fighters, and he was supposed to be more competitive. It just didn't turn out the way I thought it would turn out, and it didn't turn out the way probably Golden Boy definitely. But I thought it would have been a bit more entertaining and a bit more competitive. But
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm saying I don't think Soto had a plan B.
no, he didn't.
Yeah. But maybe just fighting Bivol just makes you it's just not much you can do with him because he's just that skilled.
Yeah, when you're looking to go live next on your channel so people can go over to there.
Yeah.
When?
Next time? I was thinking I'm actually on vacation all week this week, so it's going to be someday, maybe like Tuesday. I would say Tuesday or Wednesday.
Where can he find you? What do you have to type into YouTube? Because
yeah, in this corner, man, I got to drop my link. Yeah, I need to drop my link.
You have your link on you because I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, I would. Let me see. Give me a second.
Type it in the comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Give me 1 second.
So yeah, definitely go to his channel and watch the content that he has there. I ain't been on the channel yet, but the channel was very, very special to me. You know, because
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's very special to me. Show them the logo one more time so they can see where they can find you.
Yeah. So I got this on here. I also got no BS spots, and under that, that's my slogan.
Let me see that.
I got to stand up. No bullshit.
I like that.
So I got in this corner, no bullshit spots, and I got a couple of these. Like when I went to
on a white tee, bro. You need to get that on a white tee.
Yeah. But so
when you get it on a white tee, that's the one I'm rocking, bro. I like white t-shirts, bro.
Yeah. So I actually wore this, I tell you, I interviewed the amateur coach, and he had his card last Saturday. So I wore my shirt out to his card.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Right. Yeah, for sure. All right, give me 1 second. All right. Okay.
I'm looking for the link, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to drop it now.
No problem, bro.
I don't know if this
where can they find you on Instagram also?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as the legend 3347. I'm on Facebook as Todd Finney.
But for those who don't know, or for those who's tuning in, Bivol has won by unanimous decision. Clear, comfortable victory. Pretty much won every round. I think Zerdo won maybe a couple rounds where Bivol took a round off or so, but I don't think at any stage in the fight Zerdo looked like winning. He let Bivol get into a groove, and when Bivol got into that groove, there was no coming out. He's just way more skilled, and as Ty Finney said, there was no plan B, man. There was no plan B, and it was down to Zerdo to do something different to make the fight more competitive. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the ability to do it, and this is why I say to people, records mean nothing. I don't even think Bivol's had 25 fights. And I think Bivol's fought, 4 world champions in his career. He's fought Joe Smith Jr., who's a world champion, Sullivan Barrera, Jean Pascal, former world title contender, Sullivan Barrera, former world title contender, Zerdo, obviously a former world champion. And you can just see, there was levels between him and Canelo. There was levels between him and Zerdo Ramirez. You need someone to bridge that gap, because the truth is, it wasn't even like Zerdo was the level below Bivol today. He was the level below that. There was about, that was the issue today. Because a great fighter will a great fighter, which Zerdo Ramirez is, and the career that he's had in his career. And I got to give him credit, you know. He was a long reigning 175 and 168-pound champion. He's fought some good names, but he hasn't fought anyone close to the caliber of Bivol. Do you find the link, bro?
Yeah, I dropped it, but I think I might have dropped it in
No,
the...
no, it's cool. It's cool. I
you see it in the private. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. 1 second.
Okay, cool.
I got to put it in the chat somehow.
Right.
I can't even remember how to do this. 1 second. Bear with me.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Post comment. There we go. So this is where you can find it, man. This is where you can find it.
Yeah.
G5 Jeff TV will always endorse in this corner, bro. So in this corner, Ty Finney, the legend, however, whatever name you want to go by. Obviously, for me personally, I was there at the inception. So obviously, I'm always gonna support you. I was there at the beginning. So I always want to see you go far, bro.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Again, Bivol won by unanimous decision. Tune in to us probably on Monday. I'm pretty sure Jeff's gonna want to go live Monday. Maybe he might even want to go live tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe he might want to go live for this Showtime card. I don't know. But this is entertaining. I think the zone deserve a very, very, very big round of applause for the card that he put on today. During what we've been having is terrible, terrible news, whether it's failed negotiations, drug testing, you know, terrible matchmaking, whether it was Hellenius versus Wilder or Chisora versus Fury or whatever, you know. I feel like there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and this was definitely a light that the zone provided. So credit to them, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, they got a nice lineup for the rest of the month.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
What do you got? Montana Love next week.
Yeah.
Then they have Chavez. Was it Chavez? No, Estrada versus Chocolatito, and then they got Dylan White versus
Franklin.
Franklin.
Yeah.
And then do they have a show in December? Pretty sure I saw that they had the show in December.
Yeah, they showed some in December. I forgot the names though.
There was a good UK show in December. A heavyweight show. Was it heavyweight? Good December show. I can't remember who it was though. December 17th. That's the show. Joshua Buatsi. Was Joshua Buatsi? No, I don't think it was Joshua Buatsi. There was a good December show. I just can't remember who it was. But yeah, man, they done a good show, man. But thanks to everyone for tuning in. Obviously, hit the like button and the subscribe button on the way out. 2 hours? So not such a great live, but a long live. Sorry, but yeah, man, good fight.
Peace, everybody.